But I suppose my question to you guys is, what do you think the skills or attributes are actually most important for sales and business development in 2023? So I suppose maybe this is, maybe with your hiring hat on, or your role as a sales leader, kind of what do you look for? Lee, can you share your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think in 2023, it's never been more important to be ethical or have high level of integrity, because we're in the age of Trustpilot, we're in the age of Google reviews. Everyone can leave a review. If we missell, we overpromise, underdeliver. That's on the internet straight away. And again, sometimes there doesn't even need to be any merit to it. So it's just about making sure that we're sort of really have a high level of integrity. I like I said before, like to call it sort of high energy, low pressure, making sure that all of your customers are reference customers, so you can pick up the phone to anyone and touch base. I think the most important thing for sales has and always will be, and despite the Wolf of Wall Street, the Del Boy characters out there, is you got 2 ears, 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that order. Some people that I know are too busy trying to get the next chance to talk that they miss a lot of those buying signals. And I think the other one is about being a team player, is about sort of working together as an organization. Like I said before, it's not, in my approach is never, you have to do this, you have to do this. It's like, we as a team need to bring in X amount of leads, let's get it there. And then just making sure that we're all working as a team, working hard for each other, because if one cog falls over, then the whole machine stops.
Yeah. Jack, have you got anything to add?
Yeah, a couple of things. I'm going to send my Captain America outfit back to the fancy dress shop. Though that was a tactic. That's at least
we can tag team. Yeah, we can tag team.
Yeah, I think well, it's one of the things I took from the report. There was a statistic in there. Corinne will probably have the exact number, but there was something around effectively a lack of investment in training, or a lack of availability of training, or something around professional development. I'm sure there was something in there was quite shocking, really, because even as a 43-year-old, relatively grey-haired, can't really see with the headphones on, a salesperson, I consider every day to be a learning day. I still seek advice. I still read lots of books. I still listen to lots of podcasts. Like, my job is not done as a salesperson, in the sense of like getting kind of better at my job. So yeah, that was quite a sort of shocking statistic, I thought, really, because that's super important that we all kind of continue to develop and learn and improve, and to sort of lead on to sort of Lee's point, because the world of sales changes, right? Like, I definitely started in a world where, yeah, it was probably more Wolf of Wall Street. You felt like you were trying to talk someone into doing something effectively, which is kind of how sales were, and probably reason why sales have still got a bit of a, still a bit of a dirty word, and hence why we get called business development people and client success people and anything but a salesperson, right? Because no one likes to talk to a salesperson. But I think that's changing, hopefully. And so that kind of learning and development and is hopefully opening people's eyes to there are better ways of doing it. There are other ways of selling that aren't trying to con people or trying to talk someone into doing something they don't want to do, or, because that's not good sales. And we all know that intrinsically, but unfortunately, that there's still a bit of an old school mentality in some environments. So I think by learning, by seeking out, thought leadership on LinkedIn's great. Obviously, there's a lot of rubbish on there, but you can sort of fight through the weeds and find the good stuff. Or just, there's loads of great podcasts, loads of great books that could, make you a better salesperson, better human being. And to Lee's point about listening, and there's loads of it's soft skills, right? So I think someone said in the comment about the importance of soft skills. We're talking, human beings in a relationship, business relationship. Really, soft skills are super important. Listening and all that, all active listening, all that sort of good stuff, right? It's super, super important. But particularly if you're early in your career, you might come in with a certain anticipation of what sales is. I think maybe the longer you're in it, you realize actually there's different ways of doing things, better ways of doing things. So that's where, again, I go back to the mentoring, coaching side of things. There's so much you can learn just talking to other people, like seeing how other people operate. Because I think a lot of the core skills in sales aren't really things don't know, they are soft skills. They are kind of things that you kind of learn by doing. You probably make a lot of mistakes, but that's fine. You kind of understand actually there's a certain way of operating in meetings, on calls, there's certain questions that land better than others. There's a certain cadence to a conversation, the amount of talking I should or shouldn't be doing, certain information I feel I need to get from this conversation. That's that you will learn that over time. It's very hard to kind of put that in a textbook necessarily, but yeah. So I guess the sort of my just reflecting on that statistic in the report of how little training people feel they're getting or have access to. If you're not getting it from the organisation you work for, please go and find it, because there's loads of stuff out there. Good and bad, obviously, with anything, but lean into it, go and learn, go and read a book, go and listen to a podcast, come to webinars like this, join a community, whatever it might be, because yeah, you're only going to get better by investing in yourself in that way. And yeah, as I said, as a relatively long in the tooth older salesperson, I still seek that stuff out. I'm not the finished article by any means, because the world moves on, things change, and I want to make sure I keep up with it, because yeah, what worked 20 years ago doesn't work anymore, and what works today won't work next year, etc., etc. So yeah, I guess it's my thoughts.